Hello, friends, and welcome into the Browns Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tom Downey, here to take a look at the PFF top offensive line rankings. And as we expected and discussed somewhat on a previous video, the Browns checked in at number 1. For the record, just to get that out of the way right now, I completely agree. This does not surprise me. I agree with Pro Football Focus. The offensive line we saw from Cleveland last year was ranked number 1 by Pro Football Focus at the end of the season, and now the Browns bring back all 5 starters on the offensive line. Now, we'll discuss whether they'll play quite as well as they did last year, but I think putting them at the top spot is the correct decision. Cleveland checks in at number 1. The Colts were number 2. The Patriots are number 3. Saints at 4. Bucks at 5. I'm not surprised this is the 5. I think you could have a debate about maybe the Saints should be a little bit higher. Maybe the Patriots flip with the Colts, given some uncertainty around Eric Fisher's health. The Cowboys were 6. I'm on board with that. I'm a little bit surprised that the Rams fell out of the top 5 altogether, down inside the top 10, but I don't have much to complain about here. Browns, Colts, Patriots, Saints, Bucks are all great offensive lines, and I'll put the Browns at number 1 myself. Now, keeping things aware with what's going on around the AFC North, here's where the other divisional opponents rank. Of course, the Browns were number 1. The Ravens were number 12. The Bengals actually beat out Pittsburgh, number 24. I'm a little bit higher on Pittsburgh's center situation. I think they'll be okay there. I don't love their tackles, though. I actually agree with the Bengals being ahead of the Steelers, but of course we're focused in on the Browns today, right? Now, when PFF this offseason has been putting out their top 32 at each position, tackles grouped together, guards together, and centers by themselves, the Browns were one of the only teams to have 4, or I shouldn't even say 3 or more players ranked inside this. Now, center, everyone had one more or less, so that makes some sense, right? Jedrick Wills was not ranked. Bitonio was number 4. J.C. Tretter, also number 4. Wyatt Teller was number 9. The Browns had 4 different players inside the top 15. It should not come as any surprise in the end that the Browns were rated so highly. And the reason why I'm also on board beyond just the starting 5 coming back, the Browns got some good depth. I mean, Chris Hubbard's going to be a great swing tackle, can play some guard if needed. They've invested draft picks in other backups. James Hudson, a 4th-round pick out of Cincinnati. Nick Harris, a later day 3 pick out of Washington. Drew Forbes is still hanging around there. I thought at one point could have started for them, but Wyatt Teller's played just so absolutely incredibly well that I think in the end, the Browns are absolutely worthy of having this number 1 spot in the PFF offensive line rankings. Now, they did mention this in their article, and I like it. I think Jedrick Wills plays even better this year. I do wonder if some of the older veterans, maybe not Jack Conklin, but maybe J.C. Tretter, they take a very, very slight step back. Overall, I think the Browns' offense line will be just as good, if not better, if Jedrick Wills takes a step forward. But I think regression is at least something to mention briefly here. So my answer is yes to this question. But I do want to hear from you guys. Will the Browns' offensive line be as good in 2021? Get your votes in. Y for yes or N for no.